Greetings today from the Source NY Wellness Center in Poughkeepsie, New York. I'm Dr. Stacey Lamar. It is Friday, March 19th, 2021. The message for the collective today is about taking time to really do a reassessment, an honest reassessment of who are you and where is the light around you being blocked. I think it's time for people, and it's a good time in the spring with the transformation and with all the energy shifting and changing as we're watching the snow go away, if you are with the Four Seasons, living in Four Seasons, and watching the buds on the trees. It really is metaphoric to our personal rebirth as much as the Earth's rebirth and restoration, renewal. The past few weeks we've talked about the chakras, and I've used an Orasoma bottle that helps me to describe or briefly give you an introduction to the chakras from root up to crown. Take a look at your convenience and look back at those messages, and hopefully they'll bring some new spark of inspiration to you and positivity to you at some point. Today I want to focus on a new part of the lessons, a new part of the journey. And I want to start with the book Starseed, the book I wrote that outlines and describes some of the challenges that I've gone through over the course of my world. Now, the perspective and the framework for which this book is written may not completely align with the way that you have been raised or what your thinking is at this moment. But I think what's important is that my message of how I have tried to overcome periods of victimization and periods where I victimized really is where the deeper message is. It's not about what I believe and how I interpret my soul's journey or my spiritual beliefs. Even though they may differ from yours or not, there are many different ways to the God source. And my way works for me. I discuss it as it works for me. It does not have to necessarily work for every person. That would be ridiculous for me to think that. But the message of the things that I've done, modalities that I've used to help overcome, to assimilate, to learn from, to release the different traumas that have happened in my world are vitally important to so many people on this planet that struggle with having a difficult time letting go of things that have happened in their past or things that are happening right now, and they need a little bit of assistance in getting the strength to make decisions that might be tough decisions. I like to say don't judge a book by its cover, not just in a literal book, but in human form too, because it's easy for people to take a look at me, see me on this channel, and think that I'm put together. I obviously have enough arrogance or confidence to go out to the community and speak in public. And people are surprised when you dive into the book to see that I'm not all that. I am a walking, talking, gum-chewing human that gets up and has bad days a lot. I acknowledge and I own the fact that I am a work in progress, that I've made lots of mistakes, and that I've had things that have happened in my world that were not good for me. They were traumatic, but it's those lessons that I've learned from them that has helped to bring me to a place now where I have the ability to share with others so that maybe my lessons can help to influence and help the next person to grow and evolve. It's about taking a village. It's about all of us working collectively to lift each other up, sharing stories, and taking those lessons and trying to keep judgment out of them. Too much judgment is going on across our globe that prevents us from seeing the bigger picture and the bigger lessons that are out there right in front of our nose, but unfortunately we don't see them because we are too clouded by our own personal biases. So in my book, Starseed, I talk about the trauma, the physical, the emotional abuse, the open abduction of my firstborn child, and what I had to go through to bring my child back into my world when my estranged husband skipped. He just out-skipped. And there's a lot of what could be venom, a lot of hatred, and a lot of contempt that most people would say I rightfully deserve to have for the way I was treated during those events. And I had to go through emotions. Let me step back. I had to go through the pain and the emotions and the anger and the venom as part of my Kubler-Ross's, stages of grieving. But to hold on to them for the long term does not serve my higher good. It only gives my power to the person that's the perpetrator. And the sooner we come to that realization that just because I let go of the anger and I learn to forgive those around me that have caused me harm, does not make me weak. It does not make me less than. And it's certainly, if you can really think outside of your own bias, it gives you more power by letting go, because you recognize that I'm not letting go of the situation. The situation happened. Whatever pain around you where somebody victimized you, it happened, and no one's going to take that from you. But when you continue to have a visceral response of anger and hatred around that, then you're giving energy to the perpetrator or to the experience. Think about that for a moment. In my book, I describe more than one event that has happened that were, without a doubt, traumatic, which brought me to a diagnosis of PTSD, and which will, from time to time, still trigger me, truth be told. So I am a work in progress. I am not perfect, and I'm not completely healed. And I think that's what makes this book so important, because I own the fact that I'm never going to be completely healed, but I'm a hell of a lot better now than I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And I want you guys to have that same experience of feeling peace and feeling power. Feel your power come back when you let go of the venom around people that have caused you harm. That being said, today's bottle I chose is bottle 70. 7070. It's called the Vision of Splendor in the Orosoma collection. It's a beautiful bright yellow on top with clear on bottom. I'm wearing Vision of Splendor. In the tarot, the Vision of Splendor bottle connects to the Nine of Pentacles. Although the Nine of Pentacles, if you understand tarot, is a feminine bottle, it's a feminine card, please do not dismiss this, any men that might be listening. This is not an only woman's message. This goes to both sexes for sure. The yellow and the clear. The yellow is my solar plexus. We've talked about this. The yellow is my joy. It is my happy. It is my place of where my vital organs lie. And it is my power source within me. Everything that makes me human and able to function properly, my digestion, and all the vital organs around, the liver, the pancreas, whatever, are staged in my solar plexus. Being able to feel your light and feel your joy and feel you're happy is important. It's vital to basic human need. It's our basic human need to feel important, to feel empowered, and to feel strong. If we are giving our power to others or other circumstances from the past that don't serve our higher good, then we are allowing our organs to stay in this state of turmoil, if you will. A brief example that comes to my mind right off the top of my head is 30 plus years ago when I was suffering from GI disorder. I could not figure out why my gut was not right. I was feeling nauseous all the time. I was feeling out of sorts all the time. And naturally, 30 years ago, whenever a woman complains about feeling nauseous, the first thing they ask is, are you pregnant? Are you pregnant? And it wasn't pregnancy. I knew it wasn't pregnancy. There was something going on in my gut that wasn't right, and I couldn't answer it. So going to my providers, getting the tests that are required. I'm going back into my early 20s, and the answer turned out to be emotional. Now, it was hard to accept it back then, and the providers did not even notice or diagnose it back then. But truth be told, and with all due respect to my past partner, an ex-husband of many years ago, it wasn't till I left that relationship, it wasn't till I was out of that marriage and recognizing that I was standing in my own power and I had released a relationship that was not healthy for me, when my gut started to realign and things started to settle down and I had no further complaints of GI upset. So I think the Vision of Splendor bottle, the solar plexus, and how we can harbor emotional angst within our gut really needs to be considered, because if you are walking around feeling physically ill in certain parts of your body, yes, it can be a physical problem, but is there an emotional component triggering that physical illness? And it's something to think about. Speak to your provider, physician, nurse practitioner, whomever, therapist. Could I be harboring physical symptoms because I'm holding on to emotional karmic baggage, emotional shadow? So it took probably a year after that relationship had ended, after I had moved on, to recognize and realize, oh my God, my stomach doesn't hurt anymore. I'm not sick all the time anymore. And it was that simple, profoundly complex breakup. But the path to that release of that relationship that helped me to get my internal organs back in alignment and back into a healthy state, a homeostatic state, homeostasis. I'm not sure if I'm going to say that correctly where people would understand. A state of balance, a state of harmony. Body, mind, spirit need to be in harmony. If my mind and my emotions are holding on to unshed rage, unspoken fear, unspoken pain, it's going to manifest in physical ways. There's really no exception to that rule. Whether you're getting headaches, whether you're getting body aches, whether you're feeling overwhelming fatigue, if you are out of balance in your body, mind, and spirit, and things are not able to flow, if you're holding on to pain from an event, even an event of childhood and now you're an adult, or an event of last week, doesn't matter. If you're holding on to pain, emotional pain, spiritual pain, something that's causing you to feel like you can't let it go, there's a good chance it's going to manifest in some way in your physical being. And that sucks. You deserve better than that. You are better than that. Go back to our root chakra, I am. You are important and you are special. Nobody around you deserves to have any small piece of the power within you because they have mistreated you and you feel that if I let go of that mistreatment, then I'm giving them the power. It's quite the contrary. It does not mean you don't do not get justice, or you're not entitled to justice in some way, but it means that it's time to release the emotion from that event. Learn from it. Doesn't mean you have to be friends with the person. Doesn't mean you have to wish them all the best if that's what you, that's not what this means. This means you have to let go of it for the sake of your own self-preservation. Think about that today on Friday, March 19th, 2021. Consider over the weekend opening up your journal. If this message has brought anything to mind specifically, start writing it down, whether it's a person or an event, whether it was in the past or recent. Think about how you feel when you think about that event or that person. Do you feel your body get tight? Do you feel a headache come on? What is happening around you when you consider the pain of, and you fill in those blanks? It could be emotional abuse, it could be physical abuse, it could be a narcissistic parent or spouse, partner, whatever. There are so many different variables that can cause us to be out of sorts. Try to take away our power from us, and you are better than that. Let's consider today releasing anything within you that doesn't serve your higher good, so that your body, mind, and spirit can line up in harmony together, and you can start to own the power within you again. Because you are the vision of splendor, the Nine of Pentacles, that amazing soul in human form that is here to shine your light and give love to others, if that's what you choose to do. But you can't give love to others effectively if you don't love you first. It's in the book Starseed. It's at Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, Goodreads, and all those other places that I'm told it's at. This is the YouTube channel, Dr. Stacey Lamar. If you like this message, please let me know. Send me a message and let me know. You can reach me at thesource-ny.com. Subscribe, like, share with others, and I'll be back next week with the next message. Until then, God bless.